Greetings. Wow, that was kind of close. This is Christine Bundy on Indiana, state coordinator, lead recording secretary. And we will go ahead and take a moment to honor our creator. All right, so let's remember to go ahead and put our name. If you're on YouTube, put it in the chat. If you're on Zoom, put it in the chat. As to which county on Indiana that you currently call home. All right, so this is the Bivens Declaration. This is a public meeting. Anyone in this meeting claiming any form of U.S. citizenship or employment with any federal agency is now, for the next segment of this gathering, the new member orientation class, invited to either declare your presence and business in the chat, or we ask you to leave this call at this time. I will repeat, if you are a U.S. citizen or an undeclared federal agent, please post a comment in the chat or vacate our gathering. For the third and final time, this is notice that if you don't respond appropriately to this Bivens decision immediately, you are made fully liable for your lack of disclosure, and any so-called evidence that you collect is tainted and inadmissible. No one can attend any of our meetings in secret or in private without answering to a roll call or without announcing or declaring their presence. All right, so I want to take a moment. I'm going to stop my video. I'm still going to continue with this screen share. I'm not sure how I can update YouTube enough. Well, it's gonna let's see, to get the latency to quit. When I had that set for OBS, let me take a moment and stop screen sharing this, because I don't want it to end up changing that. Oh, it's not even screen sharing. Okay, so while I'm taking a moment here, seeing how I can get this latency to minimize here in YouTube. Let's see what I can do here. Let's see. I should be already in live. Let's see if it will allow me to edit. All right, let's see. There's where it is. Let me change that. Let's see. Bring it on down. Let's see. Where is that part at? Here, maybe. We'll put that in slow mode. Again, welcome. If you're on the call with us, put your name and county in the chat, whether you're on YouTube or if you are in the Zoom call. I am working to try to get some of this latency cut back. I'm trying to see how some of this is going to help us. This is a training. We want to make sure the playlist happens for you. Let's see. I don't know that. Let's see. It's night. Indiana. I apologize, guys. I'm trying to minimize it. Where is that on that one part? Okay, let's see. So, it's not letting me minimize that. And so, of course, it's showing that it is in that latency period. Oh my goodness. All right. Certainly that should have that checkbox. I have to get moving on this at some point. Let's see. I do apologize. I'm trying to make this a little bit easier so it doesn't have such a lag time. It doesn't let me get into that to edit that. How do I edit the stream settings? All right, welcome to the call. Go ahead and put in your name and the county that you live on. You don't just show up on a Zoom call. You do need to go ahead and have your camera on. So I have mine off at the moment because I'm trying to get the latency corrected in the stream. So go ahead and get your camera going. You don't have to have your microphone on, but do also go ahead and put in your county that you're on. Oh, let me see. Maybe this will help. Will you let me fix it here? No. Oh, no. How am I fixing this at this point? Not sure. Crazy. Oh, that's not fun. That does not help. All right, so let's see. I'm not really sure how else this is going to be able to, because later in the call is a way for us to be able to have some one-to-one feedback. Let's see if there's anything else going on in here. Oh my goodness, technology. Okay, so because I went through Zoom to create this, so I may have to, moving forward, what I'm going to do this is still create it in YouTube, so I can make sure that's selected, because I don't see how I can switch that in here. Oh my goodness. Okay. Subscribers. 1 minute. Again, pardon as I keep trying to get this moving forward. Maybe I can do more in here. I don't want moderate. Let's see. Okay, this isn't working. Okay. All right, so we're just gonna have to deal with some lag time on this. This is not, I don't know how else to be able to support that at this point for the stream settings to switch over to for the latency. So that's just what we're gonna have to work with. Okay, got to get going with this one. All right, so Zoom. Hi, Zoom. You're okay. So we're gonna be, in real time, but the YouTube is going to be a lag. So I have to remember when I'm going to use Zoom, I have to create it in YouTube first and not create in Zoom in order to be able to cut that latency down. Zoom just won't automatically include that. Okay, so note to self for learning in technology. All right, so we'll go ahead and get back to, let me get this pulled back up for our screen share. All right. There we go. All right. So now well, we didn't have the class 2 weeks ago, but the call 2 weeks before that was week 5. And so we went over the Difference between de facto versus de jure type of government. De facto has no foundation, no standing, but it's also the sea and air jurisdiction. De jure is our true land and soil jurisdiction, the Republic. We went over self-governance, how that applies to you, and the link details for the self-governance call that's being provided countrywide to all those nationals that have presented to their state assembly verification of their status correction. All right, so on this evening's call, we're going to run through a disclaimer, and then we're going to go over some more truth bombs as we usually do. Then we're going to define Regulation Z, and then if time permits, and depending on the number of Zoom participants, do some talk through scenarios. That way you each can talk to each other. I'm not the average everyday traveler. I surrendered the license back in 2019, maybe, I think it was. So, you know, I'm a traveler, but I'm not an everyday operator of a car or truck. So I'm not, you know, out on the road behind that wheel that is going to have that kind of an experience to be able to share with you. So that is why when you all come to the table together, when you have verified your status and you're able to come to the Zoom calls, you can be able to connect with each other here, to be able to have those conversations with each other for those that are out there traveling on the roads every day and how they've handled their situations. Many Indianians have told me of their experiences, some not so good, but some very pleasing. And they felt it did definitely help their confidence and in what they're doing. So, but it was because they have done their homework, right? All right. So welcome, Johnson County. Sorry, pardon for just now getting to that. Okay, let me move that over here so I can try to keep an eye on that too. And hopefully I can keep catching any chats coming through on the. All right, another Johnson County. Welcome, dear. I see you on YouTube. You are on a serious lag, so bear with us. Michael on Johnson County that's on Zoom, maybe you can also tap into YouTube and y'all can have a chance to at least say hi. Y'all are at least on the same county. All right, so we'll go ahead and keep going here. Okay. So disclaimer, and of course, if Michael in Zoom here, if you do notice any technical difficulties, being that you are right now with me on real time, tag hopefully you're willing to do this. If you have any, if you're experiencing anything on the Zoom end that's technical, if you can also type it in the chat to help give me, you know, some heads up, that would help me greatly as well. Okay. So if you are involved in commerce, okay, so are you actually getting, as part of your core job description is that you have to have their driver's license because you are, say you're driving their company truck, or because you're hauling equipment, or people hire you as passengers, things like that, that you're actually in commerce and it's not your own business, okay, then you are obligated to obey those municipal traffic codes, okay? That's at least till we stand up and stand up the state and get the changes, okay? Because we care about our fellow man, we encourage having auto insurance in case of an accident or injury. As self-governing men and women, we travel safely, looking out for our neighbors, not imbibing substances while traveling in our autos, following all reasonable and helpful signage for keeping travel safe on the roads. Okay, so here is also some reminders, some tips for you of little challenges. Is every time you hear the term vehicle, remind yourself it's either an automobile, or call it a car or truck. Okay, because when you use the term vehicle or you use the term passenger, say you have Aunt May in the seat to your right, in the front right seat, okay? But you say, well, in the passenger seat is Aunt May. Well, now you have a paying passenger. You're now operating in commerce and subject to municipal traffic codes, okay? So Aunt May is sitting in the front seat on the right. Something like that. Or Cousin Joe is in the back right. Something like that. You don't want to call them a passenger, because anytime you use their terminology, you're in their court. You're in their codes. You're in their jurisdiction. Okay? So don't think that you're being smart and knowledgeable in your vocabulary because you're using bigger words like vehicle or transportation or passenger, things like that, because those are just to fool you, to trap you into their game. Okay? We learned through the movie War Games, it's best not even to play the game, right? And that means you're going to have to figure out how to get yourself in right order to make sure you're not playing their game. So we're not encouraging you to not register your plates. Okay? Just don't poke the bear. If you're not able to articulate your knowledge, don't bother. They can smell, they can sense your fear and will prey on you in a heartbeat. And not to mention, as soon as they get you to answer any question, even if it's to get you to answer what your name is, they've baited you and trapped you in their game. Okay? So unless you have your clear in your knowledge that you can be able to articulate that, don't put yourself in that kind of situation that you may not be able to help get yourself out of, or even get yourself into worse. Moreover, if you're making payments on a car or truck, then you don't own it, right? So you are going to be subject to that corporate process. So don't think you're going to be able to get out of the property taxes if you still make a payment, if you still owe payments on it. But if you own it, then there's a process, right, that you have to go through. So there's the private auto deed process. Then, just like with everything else, that's first getting that foundation. So then there's things you're going to have to do to work through getting that title back. This is all part of this process of what you as Indiana, hopefully citizens, because it's the citizens that are armored up, that are the ones that actually have the standing to be able to support these changes that are necessary on Indiana. All right. There's no hit and miss. We can't play, support over here and support over there, and then not give a bit of support to Indiana, but demand Indiana to jump to your tune. No, it's that's U.S. citizen behavior. U.S. citizens are all over the place, loyal to everyone and none at the same time. It's time to be loyal right here where you live right now and to your community. All right. So, however, again, like if you do own it, you do not have any payments, you're going to do the private auto deed process. So there's on the assembly webpage, you go into the toolbars at the top, It's theindianaassembly.org. Go to the toolbar at the top, hover over the word join. It'll pull up a sub menu that says templates. Click templates. Then you're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom to for after you've done the paperwork, right? Because you have to have the standing to be able to do this, right? Thank you, dear. Okay, so you have to have the standing in the first place, right? Or else you're nothing but a U.S. citizen still, because you have not, and you'll know that you're still playing that game because things are still going to be rocky. Think about that. The more you set a firmer, solid foundation, the less of that rocky tension and stress you're going to feel, right? But don't think that doing your status correction removes you from any database. You still have to do the part of actually notifying and doing the work to get you out of that database. The assembly can't do that on your behalf, right? That's the whole point of you declaring that you're living, right? You're trying to clear yourself out of it. But these are the foundations and the process to help you work through that. Okay. And again, as each one of you are working through that process, share and support with each other what your goods and positive and weakness actions that you did or didn't take matter most. Those that have verified their status correction have been given access to Mattermost. That's a free communication tool provided by the Federation, where verified American state nationals and citizens countrywide come together in topic related channels, and they work together working through these issues and how they're doing it in their state as well, so that we can be able to help each other to get this up off the ground. Okay, it's about coming together. Mattermost is going to be a big tool, but it's to help you get out of the situation. But remember, as that gift back, to pay it forward, right? Paying it forward for your freedom out. Pay it forward by sharing and communicating what you did. Be that light bearer. Be that example and share it. Don't just talk the talk and then don't put anything forward to share. Show it. Okay? It's one thing to participate in the class, to share ideas, to work out and practice scenarios, but doing it on the side of the road with a cop, acting out his childhood fantasy to finally have power and control of another human being is an entirely different situation. I don't care now how tough you think you are. That is a stressful situation fraught with pitfalls. Okay? So if there little things, they tell you the devil's in the details, right? Little things can either get you into more trouble, or the little things can save you the biggest, right? And there are little things that you can do yourself so that you don't even have to, it creates that border, that barrier around you so they can't penetrate in. All right. Okay. Also, special note to anyone using the information presented here or anywhere else. We're not telling you in any way what to do in any situation. Okay? It's your way. Have it your way. We're simply giving you examples, ideas, suggestions on how to create your own approach to a given situation. We're peaceful and lawful men and women, and we uphold the public law. So you must do your own research to formulate your plan to deal with encounters and practice it over and over again in advance. Okay, don't put yourself in any position until you're confident and not filled with fear from years of conditioning. Now, if you were on, I think I even, it may have been even if you were on last week's assembly call, you can even go to the recording from last week's assembly call. I went through, did a brief overview on the thick red line and where you can be able to find that PDF so that you can be able to see those different kinds of conversations if you're going to have the conversations. Pardon me, getting a drink of water. Okay, but remember, it's one thing if you own the car or truck that you're out traveling on the roads in than it is if you are making payments on that car or truck. Even if you're not using it in commerce, it's not so, there's 2 points to travel, right? Whether you're in commerce or not. And I just lost that part. It'll come back to me. Anyway, so, but you need to, are you in commerce? Are you actually in commerce or not? That, if you're coming face to face with one, it also, what comes out of your mouth is what you're thinking, what you're feeling. And if you're thinking and feeling municipal words such as you're driving and you're in your vehicle and you have your passengers with you and you're transporting your cargo, then you're subject to all their rules. Okay. Oh, so it's owning the car, truck, or do you rent the car or truck, right? As to if you have standing even with the property, right? You got to have standing for you, the man, to even be able to own property. And then you got to own the property if you think you would be able to say that you're not in the municipal jurisdiction. Okay, so think things through. All right. Let me check over any questions. Let's see if there are any. All right. Casey on Clay County, welcome, dear. All right, welcome. Okay. And again, I made a note because I wanted to be able to do things a little bit differently with Zoom. And so I started Zoom I created the Zoom meeting through Zoom instead of YouTube. So I got to remember to do that for the next call. Okay. So if questions do come up, please still go ahead and pop them in the chat. I will catch them as we catch up with each other. And I am getting this technology down to be able to at least get us to keep moving forward. Again, anybody out there that's an Indianian that's willing to verify their status so that we can be able to start really putting out the message and get this out there in a more presentable way so that we can keep everyone informed, help support everyone. Please send me your info. Send it to state court at theindianaassembly.org. If you've got, please share some examples, of what you're able to do. You see the things that we're working with. We're trying to get some different social media options going. Questions are going to be relative to the topic. We're not going off topic of different things. Okay. So we're staying on topic right now. All right. Okay. So we need to make sure that we are reading through our information as much as possible. Again, as I was saying, if you do have any technical support or technical skills that you do have that you can be able to offer to the assembly, I can't guarantee that everybody so far at this point are all volunteers. There may be an opportunity where it can be presented to the assembly to put forth some sort of a small fee to cover cost of things like that. But then it would also be up to the assembly to make sure that's maintained. You can't just vote that in and then think it's going to miraculously just get paid like how the current de facto sets things up. Okay. Remember, here we actually, we take care of ourselves. We don't just throw it out there and expect it to be covered. All right. So the truth, do you know who you are? We, the people, are the employers and creators of the government and original constitutions. We created the enabling acts. We are the people that our public servants take an oath to serve and protect, not to harass. Okay, but that means you have to do your part as the employer. That doesn't mean you pass it off to others in an organization to expect them to do this for you. This is all on you all. Even Trump of the territorial says it's the people that have to do this, right? You guys have to do this. You got to get out of the mindset of thinking that, hey, I've ordered you to do this. But yet, just like the Democrats like to order people to do things, but then they don't fund it either and expect those lonely ones that are actually doing the work to still figure out how to make that happen. No, that's not how that works here. If you want to do things that way, you're more than welcome to find a district or municipal assembly that will support that behavior. Okay, so the truth is that most municipal police believe that motor vehicle codes are actual laws. MVC are rules created for commercial vehicles and contain only definitions of commercial terms such as vehicle, driving, passenger, traffic, transportation, etc. And so they're considered policy enforcers because they're actually attempting to enforce the municipal policy, right? The municipal franchise subcontractor, because that's their employee, that's who's employing them. And if you've been in the previous calls, I've also stated that how does the state of Indiana municipal police officers, how are they employed? It's because each of the counties and cities they have a bargaining agreement with the Freemasons. The Freemasons are in total control of all municipal officers. That includes state police. That is how a municipal officer is driving in those vehicles that are unmarked. Okay, it's through their bargaining agreement. The Freemasons are the controller of the bargaining agreement, and they make that agreement with the cities and towns and all the de facto corporations within the state of Indiana. Those policies are created by the AAMVA, American Association of Motor Vehicle Administration. Now pay attention here. Words, letters are very powerful. They start out to morph you in, to mirror you in, to try to make you think that this is actually something that's real, is they start with the word American. And it starts with the letter A. But then they cut it off when they go to the word association, and then they go into the corporate terms. And that's their lock-in to get even the municipal to blindly follow and think that they're actually they're following any kind of law and doing anything just because of that. And again, it's in name only. It's just like Planned Parenthood. That's not, right? That's another false name. And it's largely foreign, unelected, non-governmental membership org that our DMV participates in. They're the ones that have created all these municipal codes for the states. So just as the US Congress has lobbyists that go ahead and write all these bills for them so that they don't have to do the work of writing the bills, right? But they get to put their name to it. Well, this is the municipals version of that. All right, let's see any more. This property having the standing makes a difference. Owning versus leasing and renting, right? Yes, makes a big difference, right? Big difference. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So, our God-given unalienable right to life, freedom, and the pursuit of happiness that includes our right to travel unmolested. 1 Corinthians 10:23. I have the right to do anything, but not everything is beneficial. I have the right to do anything, but not everything is constructive. That's the New Living Translation. And then everything is permissible, but not everything is helpful. Everything is permissible, but not everything builds up. And I don't know what IS version that is. That's a new one. But I have my own expression that I use for basically for this same verse, and is just because you can, should you? Just because you can, should you? Not everything is actually good for you. Just because it feels good right now, or it sounds good right now, or it looks good right now, doesn't actually mean in the bigger picture that it's actually good for you or helpful to anyone else. A great example is look at the situation we're in right now. We have these young children right now that are being told by these crazy psycho teachers to ignore their parents, that they have to change their gender. What is this nonsense? That is just like, it's one thing that your friend is there to say, yes, that dress looks great on you. You should have a great day with that. But you also need to have that friend that says, you know what? When you bend over, you show too much. I think you need to try something else. That's the friend that actually loves you and cares for you. That's the friend that's actually helpful. That's the one that really helps you so that you're not making a big mistake later down the road. These are how we come to maturity and get out of all this nonsense. Okay? All right, so choose wisely, use discernment. We're all self-governing. You can make all the decisions how you're going to conduct yourselves, but you got to take full responsibility. Don't say, well, Christine said this, or it showed that Christine had this and this, or Anna's article said this. Christine will always tell you, don't move until you've got, if you don't feel like you're confident within yourself to move on it, Christine's going to tell you, go to spirit within and say, how will this serve you? Is this good? How do you want me to, if you want me to use this, how do you, that's what Christine will tell you. So this is about taking ownership, responsibility of our own actions. You still decide what you're going to do and how you handle yourself, what steps you do or don't take. Now, rather than anger, LEOs, let them go ahead. If you feel like that's the kind of energy that could be occurring, rather than anger them, let them go ahead and write out the citation. But when you do your autograph, it's going to be your byline. By colon first, full middle last name, copyright. A little tip, there's probably going to be a box started on the outside of the box. Anywhere you can have, if the box is on the right side, having you start inside it, then make sure you're finishing your autograph where it's on the outside on the right. If it's a box that's on the left side, start on the left side outside of the box going in. Just some little visuals for them. But you're also going to add all rights reserved without prejudice. I do not consent, no contract, etc. If you feel they were aggressive, add under threat, duress, and coercion. Okay. And in Mattermost, the travel kit channel will give you more support with all of this. Okay. Yes, we are the creators of this society via our ancestors. So we deserve and are owed the right to travel unmolested. But we have to keep it. And that means we have to be the ones actually doing the work to keep it. All right, Regulation Z. The following slides on Regulation Z are excerpts from Anna's article titled "The Big Fraud in Very Simple Terms." Okay, so I don't know if it's going to share that, but I do have it pulled up here. We're just going to go ahead and keep it where it's though in the slide so it's easier to read. Okay, so banking rules were adopted to protect the private property that was being leveraged in the corporate system. Regulation Z, which is an international banking and securities regulation that was adopted by the Federal Reserve Board of Governors and which resulted in the Consumer Protection Acts, including the Truth in Lending Act. Private property is supposed to be protected by attaching Z tags to it. The clueless bill collectors and revenue agents patrolling our streets, where revenue agents here are those municipal officers. They're actually the revenue agents because they're the tax collectors out there. They're the real tax collectors. They're supposed to recognize the tags. If they recognize nothing else, they're supposed to be told to leave cars, homes, land, etc., displaying the proper Z tags alone. In America, because we have two foreign subcontractors at odds with each other, we need two kinds of Z tags to accomplish this same function. We need a white Z with a black background to wave off municipal bill collectors, and a black Z with a white background to wave off territorial bill collectors. The idea was that it was outrageous enough that they were using your assets to profit themselves and forcing all Americans to pay the municipal government's debts under false pretenses, without also endangering your actual property and making it subject to seizure for failure to pay their debts. And if you'll notice, so at the end of the month, the first part of the month, depending on how their end of the month was, because they have quotas to meet, because they too have debts that they have to pay, and they're expecting you to pay it, so they're out there to collect it. Think about it in that perspective. let me check real quick, see if any comments. Okay, thank you, dear. Okay. All right, like all the other remedy that was supposed to be afforded to every American, none of this was ever explained. To this day, the bill collectors and revenue agents remain largely ignorant about what a Z tag even means. Because they purposely just didn't teach them. It doesn't mean that it was thrown out, because they just didn't teach them that. So, and if it's not a regular, if someone coming in, they're not going to need to follow that process, right? Especially if they've got all the corporations out there, all those private businesses that they've got them trained, that they've got employees doing the W-4 and the Indiana form I-9, I think it is, so that to make sure they get locked in there and make sure that they got the sales tax going on hey, you know, they've got everybody programmed to be their tax collectors. So that's why they're the tax collector. All right, so and to top it off, they never explained it to the American population enough or at all to make them aware of their protection. So the one remedy that remained, the one thing that was supposed to be a fail-safe to protect your private property from being stolen under false pretenses, was never actually made available to Americans like you either. So start plastering Z-tag signs, white on black and black on white, on your homes and automobiles and everything else you don't want stolen. Now remember, white Z on a black background is municipal. Black Z on a white background is territorial. Okay. All right, so here are some examples. Here is, now it doesn't have the updated assembly seal on here because this was a few years ago, but this is the base of what the credentials look like. This is mine, front and back. Here are examples of the municipal and territorial Zs and examples of them in use. Here is an Indiana plain tag, and then here is one that we do have unique tags. If you're ordering plates, private auto plates through the assembly, you'll need to verify your status. If you are not, and it's fine, you have it your way, you do not, if you're wanting to get the plates without having to present your status, in email information I've included where you can be able to have a link of a site that you can be able to go to that will be able to support you, so you can still be able to get state national plates without verifying your status. And here's an example of like of a no trespass notice on the front door with the peace flag and do not trespass with the Z's. This is on the back of our truck. I have these on the operator side of the back of the truck. All right. And again, it still depends on the LEO. You have no idea what they could have been dealing with before they even got to you. You have no idea in this moment what you could have just been dealing with before you got into a situation. So just stay peaceful and stay calm so that you can be able to articulate what it is you need to in that moment. And remember, here are some of the tips of writing on it. Writing on the ticket, where was that? Because you'll put your byline. Where is that? I didn't make it's in here, right? Oh, here. No? Okay. Which we did. Okay, so let's see. So you'll put your byline in and all rights reserved. If you do feel it was under duress, you'll want to include that. All right, now, questions relative to presentation so far, put in the chat. I will, and of course, YouTube is still got the lag going on. I will catch as we go along. All right, Jeff, welcome. Marion County, awesome. We are experiencing a lag between Zoom, but I think I have that figured out for the next call, but we'll keep things going here. All right, to note, the link here this does not work, but if you go here to this link will pull up where you can be able to download a file. And let me screen share that. Hold on just a moment. It'll allow you to download a file. And this is the file. This link here does work. Okay. So you'll go to this link to be able to watch the video, and here is some info to be able to support you. But let me go ahead and stop screen. So that's the link you're going to actually go to. Disregard. Hey, Kenneth, welcome. All right, go ahead and put your county in too as you get in. Got to get your camera going too, dear. All right, technology, I know. All right, so again, this link here does not work. Okay, and I think it's because I maybe put the time, because I went and added the length of time here so we would know. And it doesn't go to that link, but it should go to it now. So let me stop sharing so that I am stop sharing, and I should be able to put that link in and play it through Zoom. It's supposed to let me do it that way. Because here I go again, trying to be all tech, but I'm trying to bring as much as I can. All right, let me close that. Okay, it said to go to, I don't want to do that. Oh, share, advance video. Okay, I want to do that. That's not what it's supposed to do. Oh, come on. That was supposed to work. Why? Let's see. Okay, maybe I can do a regular screen share. Let me get that, make sure I got that one up. Okay. Now let me do a regular screen share, and hopefully we can hear it. Y'all on Zoom will have, because of the serious lag between here and YouTube, you'll have to let me know. I don't know if I'll be able to turn volume up, but we'll see how the sound goes with this. Okay, so that should screen share. And let me know if you're able to see it, the video. And it's for how to right to travel, no license, no plates, no problem. If y'all are able to see that up here for Zoom. All right, I will go ahead and keep moving. I'll go ahead and play it. Oh, I gotta, okay, we'll see how this volume works. Okay.
And stand showing they lost the case. And I sued them. And what did you win? $250,000 for a night gym. This is my traffic foot right here. Read down below, public note, public servant officer. It pretty much says to it, when a cop pulls me over, lose potato chips. But when a cop pulls me over, the first thing I do is I ask him, what's your emergency and how may I assist you? And he's going to ask for my driver's license insurance or whatever. And I said, well, if you go there, I need you to fill this out. And I take that sheet of paper out of there and hand it to him. Before we can go any further, fill this out. Once he reads this, well, at least I notice that I'm not thinking. Then you open up the book. That is so funny. And here's the case I won against Harris County. Harris County, I always take my name out because I'm not going to give my name until you give me what's called, and police always call it, it's RAS. What's your RAS? They automatically assume I'm a cop because I'm using their language. And what RAS stands for, reasonable articulable suspicion that I've committed a crime. You don't have that? Okay, what's your SAF? Single articulable fact. You don't have that either. Okay, you just basically said that there's no reason, but you haven't seen it. Here's the case, the one against Harris County, stands today, and they ended up buying me a brand new Porsche 911 turbo, all-wheel drive. That was like over, spent like Jeff. It's lawsuit, and you can see that it's all put together. There it is, signed by the DA and stamped, showing they lost the case. And I sued them. $250,000 for a bank check. And Supreme Court says no license in security by law. Now these are all done. So what this is called stare decisis. Okay, we're running a case that's already been won in the Supreme Court, and they're in violation of their oath of office when they don't pay attention. My license plate doesn't give you a license plate alone. It says I'm not. I got a license plate from this car over here, that car over there. They all have license plates. License plates mean I'm engaged in commerce. I'm not engaged in commerce. This doesn't give them where do you see that I'm engaged in commerce? What gave you that suspicion that I'm engaged in commerce? You have the right to travel freely, unencumbered, and that's all in the law. When you look at the law books, the Supreme Court has already ruled on this, and you go back to what was the license. And I want people to do their own homework. Go and read the case of Murdoch versus Pennsylvania, or read the case of Shuttlesworth versus the city of Birmingham, Alabama. These are showing license is to do something that is informed, that's sanctioned by the government, like a 007 license to kill. Okay, that's important. They need to be licensed by the state. In other words, protected by the state. There's nothing immoral about leaving my house to go get a gallon of milk. I only need a license if I'm using the public property. The roadways are public, and they're paid for by the gas tax. Okay, they're not paid for by traffic violations. So when you get into the law, this is what scares most cops. About the window stop in a second. This is what most cops don't like because they don't know it. It's non-emergency use of emergency vehicle lights and sirens is a felony. And have reasons. I'll bring out my brother's. This is like, this was the book they had. Okay. Texas Paramount, they tried to call that. I went to his farm and I made him read this. This is out of their own law. This is the most expensive. And it says under section 502, 003, registration by political subdivision prohibited, except as provided by subsection B. A political subdivision of this state may not require owner of a motor vehicle to register the vehicle, pay a motor vehicle registration fee, or pay occupational tax or license fee in the connection with the vehicle. This section does not affect the authority of the municipality to, right here, license and regulate the use of a motor vehicle for compensation. So if I'm not engaged in compensation being paid to go from point A to point B, I don't need a driver's license, I don't need to register my automobile. And it is not in Massachusetts. Traffic codes are pretty simple, because they're all very much the same. It's right here, you can find it, and I will tell you, go to like Amazon or eBay and buy a used one. I'd rather have to pay $300 for this. And then you look at it here, impose a permit fee or street rental charge for the operation of each motor vehicle, okay, used to transport passengers for compensation. So who needs a driver's license? A taxi driver? Anybody that's engaged in making money using the public property.
All right, so only the link is descriptive. While you're down there, subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button. Give me a comment once we know starting, and share the video around everybody that you know. Because that's how we're going to start treating it. Bring the change and bring the domination. That people believe they have to follow everything that the state says, because it's not in the Constitution. Constitution is just a trust that was set up to manage the protection of our rights, our property that we give to the government to defend and protect. The government isn't there to make laws that are to suppress us or steal rights away from us. I don't know how we ever got to this point in history where we continue to let the government steal rights from us that the Constitution protects by public, whatever. And you guys text me if you want. A lot of people do that. A lot of people shoot me text messages. I'll just tell you right now. It's what's it? 331-330-9911. I made it a nice simple number to remember, so I can use this to communicate with you guys. Start connecting with more people. So hit me up, and until next time, we will leave you guys alone.
All right. Stop that sharing. Okay. So we'll go ahead and let me get this back up to we'll do a little bit of a walkthrough on this document. Again, on the presentation, the one slide that had a picture of the for the video, that link there does not work. So you'll go to the very next slide. At the bottom is the link, and it'll pull up a where you can download, and it'll have the correct link in there. Now let's screen share that document. Okay, let's get this a little bit better. All right, so again, there's that link for it. All right, so Mattermost, and again, you'll as long as you've verified your status, you'll get an email out on Mondays that have a link to how to access Mattermost if you did not create an account yet. Again, this is for those that have verified their status. You can at least have had presented 1779 Declaration of Naturalization, 2 witness testimonies, and birth certificate in order to have that access. Okay, that's the bare minimum to have received that access. And you'll get an email on Mondays that, as well as your welcome home email series, has the info about it. But you'll also on Mondays get an email that has the reminder that if you hadn't created your account yet, to go there, shows you how to create your account. But it also gives you the link details on Mondays. There is a lovely woman on Washington State that is doing a Mattermost training and how to get your legs of figuring out your navigate around Mattermost. to be able to support you. So, and it is an awesome tool. It's provided free by the Federation for verified American state nationals, citizens that have presented to their state assembly. Their state assembly will have given them access to be able to gain Mattermost. That is where their topics on various channels to be able to support you as Americans countrywide are going through their peeling out, as I call it, process, and they share what letters they're receiving, what they're sending, and supporting each other and how, and in all their not so good successes and all their successes. So that's a great tool that is going to help you the most. And that'll be a big one you'll spend a great deal of time in. As particularly the travel kit channel, it also has links to PNG, JPEG photos of the Z tags so that you can be able to print your own, as well as if you go to theindianassembly.org and go to, let's see. There are links all over there. I don't know at the moment exactly where on there, but as well as if you were to want to purchase a generic state Indiana travel plate, or if you wanted one that was unique where it was numbered with your county. Again, for either one, if you're wishing to purchase those through the assembly, you'll have to verify your status with the assembly. But however, there are, because you can do it your way if you didn't want to verify your status with the assembly on the site where we have all the products and everything. I do have a link on there of where you can be able to find support to still get a somewhat of a more personalized Indiana plate without it coming from the assembly, and you don't have to present your status in that. If you're still wanting to hide in that way, that's okay. We all, for whatever our own reasons are, we have to walk our walk. Okay. All right. So this comment here, now this is not my notes. This is from because Tennessee Assembly put together this entire presentation. So these are notes that they have pulled together to support this. So whoever put this together, they liked Rick's approach to get them to sign his form as a public servant officer when Leo approaches, ask for a DL or insurance, etc. So what's your emergency? How can I assist you? Before we can continue, I need you to fill this out. It puts him on notice that you know your rights. What is your RAS? They assume you're a cop. It's reasonable, articulable suspicion or single articulable fact. That's interesting. SAF or safe. Would it be safe? Non-registered license plate says you aren't in commerce. Private license plate means you're not engaged in commerce. You have the right to travel freely unencumbered. And again, remember our point earlier is that there is a difference as to if you still owe payments on that car or truck, or if you own it outright, right? Then it depends on, are you actually engaged in commerce or not? Look up cases Murdoch versus Pennsylvania, Shuttlesworth versus Alabama. A license is only necessary to allow you to do something that is immoral or illegal. Therefore, it's not immoral or illegal to travel the roads. And they're paid by public from the gas taxes. Okay. Stare decisis is a legal doctrine that obligates courts to follow historical cases when making a ruling on a similar case. Non-emergency use of emergency vehicle lights and or siren when not an emergency is a felony. Cops don't like this. If there's not a reasonable suspicion that you're involved in commerce, they're done. Driver's license not required. Don't give your name. Obeying any of their orders is contracting with them. They must obtain tacit agreement before they can continue. Before we can go any further, please fill out this form. And here's the base information. And so this is the form for them to fill out. As the above state bonded officer state that all information is given under oath and is true and correct as stated above under penalty of perjury. And this part here, notice public servant officer, in the event you elect not to fill this form, you will accept or give your unconditional consent for a levy of your public bonds of no more than $100,000 US, $100,000 per day that I'm detained for by you or all other present officers. Okay, page 2, ignorance of the public law does not excuse misconduct in anyone, least of all. So this is some base overview of each of the pages. So you'll want to go back into the video so you can get some more clarity to get more details on that document that he was showing you. But it is also very similar to, it has info with the fee schedule, but the fee schedule is not serving the same kind of purpose here. Now, I will point out also that the link that is on the Assembly's site where you can donate, or if you're going to do recordings, purchase the plates, things like that. I do have the link up to the woman on New Mexico. Again, she is a verified status corrected national on New Mexico, but she is New Mexico. It's her own private trade business. She is not connected to the Indiana Assembly. Nor is there any kind of kickback that's given to the Indiana Assembly. There is no support in either direction, but she does have a travel package that does have something very similar to this. So you may want to check that out if that's helpful for you. All right. So, any questions? Again, we gotta wait for that lag period with okay, Casey, I don't know how much. Oh, it's not too much long of a zag. Okay, Casey's asked about if we have C tag stickers. Okay, yes, we do. Hold on. So you can be able to see. Oh, here I have it because this is my little mail pouch. When I go to the mail, when I walk to the post office or go to the post office, and I keep a red and blue ink pen in here. I also had a Sharpie in here, but it fell out. I have to figure out how to keep that more secure. But these little, we do have these available. I need to get those set up on the website because I've also been trying to send some out as well, because I do have some of there's these and then these. Whew. So we do have those sizes. And like I showed in the presentation, let's see, let me get to that one. Here we go. Scroll back up. And I'll screen share that again. This picture here is what we have on our front door. I mean, we just happen to have one of those kind of front doors that has a window like that. And so I have a notice that's similar. It may even be that same one that I have here. I have both of these, the flag and the Z tags on all the windows, so that every window has it, as well as I have at least one window on each of the 4 sides that has this notice. Now the front, because I have this on the front door, I don't have it on the front windows, but I have both of these on all the windows. That way, any window they would may want to try to come into, I've got it right there at the window. As well as here is a big, this is an aluminum sign that I can make. I need to start setting these up to make available. I'll work on that this week for you all to be able to get these up here, and so that we can get these out there for you too. Now that sign there, it's pretty big. It's a pretty big size one. So it depends. You may not want it that big, so I'll have to make sure. But I did 2 of those and made sure that they already, because they're aluminum, so that they would be weather safe. You really should have at least 4, because you want to cover all 4 corners of your property, right? And all your entryways, all your portals, doorways from the outside, to stop them from coming in. It's your barrier, right? Okay. So let me make this smaller again. Hold on. Oh, wrong way. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Okay, so we went through that. All right, so we're already over an hour. Let's see, and we've got major delay. Let's see. No, not sure how to be able to. We've got, let's see. Awesome. Yeah, I will work on getting stickers put up on the Assembly's site. Let me put that link up as well. And on and like Thursday evenings, an email goes out that has for products and everything. But I will make sure that the website gets updated to include that, and work those comments and, work those links in there as well. But the website for where I'll start adding those products in addition to the plates and everything. Now there's no verification that's going to be needed to be able to order these stickers and signs, things like that. Okay, it's only for the things that you're stating that you're actually a status corrected citizen. So I would hopefully we're pretty clear on that. Okay, so here is the link where the products will be as I get those posted. I've put it in Zoom, as well as in the Zoom chat and the YouTube chat. So, and like I said, this week I will get the larger do not trespass signs up, as well as the smaller stickers for your car, truck, windows, things like that. And I will work out various sizes, because there's like a smaller, like the yards, like a yard sign, like they would use for politicians, those kinds of yard signs, that might be a better kind of thing for you. Get it double-sided with the that has the do not trespass Z's on it. That might work out better for you, especially if you are in a rental, if you don't own the property, right? If it is your property and you own it, then you might want to go with the more long term and get the aluminum ones, and then go out and actually put in posts and really secure them in, right? But if you're renting the property, or you may not have that kind of a space to be able to securely put something in like that, a regular yard sign would be a good one, because you'd have the stakes to be able to stick it in. So I will get that working. I'll get those put out this week, and hopefully I'll have that up then, so that come the Thursday evening's email, you'll be able to hopefully see those links on there at that time. Okay, so let's see if there's anything else. Did that, I went ahead and answered your question in the side while we were taking care of other things. Did that help you, Michael? I know we're supposed to meet this week too, right? You're muted. Good. Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, that's much better.
Oh, yeah, I got it. I just didn't understand. You said the notary block.
Right. So what are you needing the witnesses for? What are you
Just
on
for
the private auto deed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you can either, because if they're not able to meet up, match with me. So then there's a notary block. What does the notary, let me see. What does that notary block have already on it as the?
I can tell you, it has for the notary block, it has at the top of it recording secretary and international notary. Okay,
witness. So right now it's set. Let me email you a template that makes sure that it has for a public notary. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And then that way you can go ahead and get that taken care of for that aspect, but you'll still then send me that with the proof of ownership so that I can record all of that for you, because you'll want to make sure it has the crimp seal, just like with your with all the other deeds and declarations that we have that crimp seal. Then you'll start that sending process.
Okay, I think I emailed you I don't know if you got them or not, the titles, I think.
Oh, earlier on or recently?
Yeah.
I haven't checked
yesterday.
Today. I haven't checked.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, so
but
if
yeah,
I haven't checked yet, I'll respond to you when I get to it in my emails.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, yes, ma'am. Take your time. Yep.
Okay.
I appreciate you.
I will make sure that I send you. It'll be tomorrow, but I'm writing myself a note so we don't forget that I will send. And that's a great reminder that helps others too, because I need to get that template out there for others then too.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
That way they have it available as well if they needed to go to a state notary for that. Thank you.
Okay.
Awesome. That is a great help for everyone as well.
Thank you. Because then
right,
after
we're
that,
always
once I get it
thinking how we
notarized,
can not only help ourselves, but how it's going to help everybody else too.
yes, ma'am.
All right. Are you in a better place now on that part too?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, yeah. I think once I get that from you, then once I get those, then I'll just mail them to you, correct?
Yep. And do I need to go ahead and send
ma'am.
you the mailing address again just to make sure you got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Please, pretty please.
Okay. We'll do.
And I need to put an envelope in prepaid, correct?
Right. And
Gotcha.
I'm trying, and I'm going to update my mailing details to include that. It is great if you want to send me mail where it's sent certified. So if you want to, I'm not saying you have to send anything to me certified, but some want to send certified so it can be tracked, which is great. But you're sending to a PO box. So don't ask for a green card back.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Because it's with it being in that way, then I have to work out making sure I get to the post office is this a little post office? We're out in kind of country. And he's
Gotcha.
not always there when I can get there. So I'm just trying to get the word out,
Okay.
kind of thing. I'm not saying you have to send it. It all depends on how you want to,
Right.
but if you're going to do it, don't send a green card. It's just going to delay things.
Gotcha. I'll make sure I don't do that.
All right. Okay. So then we may not be meeting then this week.
Um,
I mean, I have you at the moment. I know I wasn't going to do this.
well,
but
if I get the right, yeah. Well, if I get the template from you, then I don't think we would need, oh, you know
just
what?
go ahead and cancel, or if you still have some questions.
Can I send, is it okay to send an application with my photo with that as well?
What application?
The notice.
Oh, that one. Okay, for that one, you can still go ahead and send it, but send me an email where it's like a short video of you autographing it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, for the self-witnessing. All right,
Oh,
so
okay.
then when I get it, I'll say, yes, I saw you do it, and then I can finish it up.
Okay, because I got to autograph both papers, correct?
Yep.
Yes, ma'am. I can do that.
Sounds good. And your witness for that doesn't need to, they don't need to sign any differently or put their thumbprint on it or anything like that.
Yeah, but I say I don't think they have a sign for them on this one. I don't think.
Oh, not on that notice, but on that deed.
But on the other
On
one,
the
just
deed, yeah.
yeah.
They'll just sign
Gotcha.
how they normally would. And now you will have red ink and print because it's a deed.
Okay, so you need me to print my name or type it in?
You're gonna print your autograph.
Oh, okay. Print my autograph. Gotcha.
In print because it's a deed and it'll be in red ink. It'll be bicolon, first, full, middle, last, copyright symbol in your own wet ink. All of that in your own wet ink, in red ink. But it'll be print for that one because it's a deed. Now
okay.
your witness will sign as they normally sign, but no special way for them to sign, but preferably for them in a blue pen if you can.
Okay, so red ink for me printing my name and then blue ink for them.
Right. Yeah, and they can sign however, and then the notary sign however the notary does.
Okay, and it's still okay for me to have my name printed underneath, right? Like normal for both of them. It's still that's okay. But when it's come to writing, I print my name in red ink and they have blue ink.
Right.
All righty. I think I can remember that.
And just so our viewers get an idea, okay? So the travel package details include a notice that you can include, get recorded, and and you can include it then in your travel kit. And it's set up with the assembly info on there, and the Indiana code even is included on there to be able to support you in that. So, and those are for those that have verified their status, the bare minimum 1779, 2 witness testimonies and birth certificate. Okay. And being that we're talking about that it's your auto deed, if it's for the 2 witnesses, that's where that Minnesota 220 rule. Now your witness for that can't be the notary as serving as that second witness, but somebody that to serve as that, that they can verify, yes, they know you own that car or truck.
Gotcha.
Right. Okay, because we're still walking in honor. Right. Okay. All right. So you can decide all the way up until you got that time slot, whether, depends on how things go. But tomorrow I will have that email out for you. That will have the template for state of state notary. And that way I'll also be able to get it up on the website for everybody else under, and I'll just go ahead and screen share that as well. Let me get to it. Let's see. I mean, if I go, I've got Explorer up in the moment and I don't usually go there. Right, I usually use Brave and then Explorer is my fallback because some of these like Zoom doesn't always accept Brave. Okay, so let me try to get it in. Okay, so here is the IndianaAssembly.org. It redirects you to the federation that is hosting the actual website. So you'll go here. Let me make it a little bit bigger so we can see it. Where you'll just hover over join. You don't have to actually click it yet, or you can click, there's details in there, but hover over it and click templates. And then I have several templates listed in here. And then way down here for after course correction processes. Okay. And so this will be here. And thanks to Michael in Johnson County here, I will be making sure that this has for recording secretary notary block and include a state of state notary block on here. So keep an eye out for that if you're needing it. So there are other support tools there for you. Once you've at least started that base of status correction as you're going through. All right. An email is going to be going out as far as juror and jural assembly of building the courts, starting that training. So an email is going out for that. So keep an eye out and see how you can work that into your schedule to start coming to that. It is being offered by Terry. She is Terry Salm, the moderator with Anna on Monday nights. And she is the state coordinator for the Washington Assembly. They do have their jural assembly up. Their courts are operating, and she has offered now to start doing a court training every 2 weeks, offering it countrywide. So that information will be coming out. So keep an eye out for that, and so that'll be the jural assembly pillar starting motion. And then the militia pillar, CERT, community emergency response training and team. That is where our chief postal area marshal, Joe Hayes, he's already established where weekly he meets with the Ohio Assembly to do a regular call with them in helping to actually to help give training on building the militia program for the assembly. He's doing once a week with Michigan and once a week with Illinois. He's offered us up now to be able to support Indiana once a week to get the Indiana militia pillar going. And so a survey is going out. I need your support. The times and days that are available are what is available by Joe. It's not based on what's available for us at this point. Okay, he's being the one that he's got a large, as well as he also works a full-time job and has a family. So we need to be respectful of the time that he has available to us. So so please don't email me to say, well, a better time would be this or this. That's not what the point is we're being graciously offered the ability to be able to get our militia training directly from our chief marshal. So we're going to respect his schedule of what he has available. And if that's a problem, that's something you have to work out within you. Please don't. I can't help you. I can't change it at this point. All I can do is make available to at least give a choice so that you can have of what's available open, and we'll go from there so that we can start getting that done. And I've got in there to determine, what will work well for you. Will it be a week? Can you do a weekly? Can you do a bi-weekly? Is monthly? What are you able to commit to? And this means the militia, the CERT, this is everyone that is 21 plus and older. It's not just about those that are wanting to specifically serve in a capacity as a peacekeeping official, or those that are wanting to serve from a perspective of like a well-regulated militia from what the common thought has been as to what the militia meant. Well regulated means a variety of support to help the whole community. So that is where we're going to be getting both of those pillars moving forward. So keep an eye on that. And again, you have to be fully armored up to actively support, but there are still events and other ways that you can be able to still connect and be recipient of all the benefits, of course, of as we are building this from the ground up. All right, so if we don't have any other questions, no Zoom link. Okay, you didn't get a Zoom link. Okay, so I'll be updating to make sure and get more recent ones in. Jonathan, that is not the topic of conversation that is for this call. Okay, so stay on the topic of the conversation. Bond numbers were not bonds, and dealing with that process wasn't part of the process, wasn't a part of this conversation. All right, and once we have finished your process, you'll be able to gain access to Boundermost and get more support in that. But that was not what the topic was for this evening. All right, so I want to thank everyone for being on this call. We'll go ahead and wrap up at this point. The lag is too much on between you two, but I will be getting that set better for the next time. So I want to thank you all. Have a lovely, peaceful evening, and I